Hello everyone and welcome to my Ascension Messages. My name is Bobbie and I will be your guide for today. Today I'm going to channel some messages through, and I have some written messages that I have channeled through during the week. We will discuss these. So they asked me to title it. They actually gave me one channel message that said, imagine many different realities playing out, a super variety, and it's now up to you where you go. So we're going to discuss about how we're creating reality and that sort of thing, because it's very much changing at the moment. It's changing a lot, and it's just our perception on how reality really works and how involved we really are in this making or creating of our outside external worlds. I'm also wanting to let you know that I have a school called Amakel, and if you want to join that, the link is down below. Lots of telepathic games. I'm going to put up another 3 space telepathic games. It takes you on a journey through space, opens your imagination, as well as telepathic game with it, involved in it. And also I do one-on-one readings, but during in another couple of weeks I'm closing it down, but I'm reopening it once I actually land in New Zealand, because the timing is different. So it will be, I definitely am open for the next couple of weeks if you do want a reading, and then after that it'll look like it's closed until I actually land in New Zealand. I'll reopen it again because the timing is all different. I don't want people like getting a timing for Australia, and then when I go there it's 3 in the morning for me. So yeah, that's just how I figured that would work. What else have we got? I just did a beautiful collective live with a team in New York, and I will be publishing that soon. So I've only just downloaded it onto my computer, and I will publish that soon so you guys can see the channel messages that come through that. There was 30 minutes of channeling, 30 minutes of Q&A, and then I did a few readings as well after that for the people. And there was quite a few people. I think it was like, I don't know, it's like 20 people or something like that turned up. So it was really, and the energy was just beautiful. It was just a really profound energy. I can see now why I need to get out there in the public and have these one-on-one, like actual face-to-face, because even in that live, it was just this energy started to pull together, and it was just beautiful between everybody's, you know, everybody's energy. It was just gorgeous. Anyway, so that's going to go out live, and then I have tomorrow morning I will be going live with an interview with Michael Kopf. So I should put the link down below for that as well. I haven't done that yet, but I'll put the link for that interview that's happening with Michael. Really excited to be on his show again. So that's my second time I've been on his show, and he can't wait to have me back. So hi everyone in the chat bar. Hey Linda, hey Nicole, hey Tyann. Sorry, I'm terrible with names. Mona. Yeah, excuse me. I'm dyslexic. I just don't see it. Okay, let's get into this channel message anyway for this moment in time and the ascension that's happening for humanity. And they are definitely taking me to the expansion of awareness of what we're actually creating and how we're really creating it. So they said, I'm going to read a couple of things that I've written. So I've written a couple of things on my phone just through the week. And I want to bring these up and then have a discussion around, as well as channel some more messages through that they want to bring through. So this is all channel messages that I'm going to be reading anyway that I got through the week. So there's an unforeseen plateau of feelings that humanity are going to tap into once they have found balance and cleared their minds. This is going to change everything. They are bringing up a lot of, this is going to change everything. It's this new awareness of ourselves, that we're taking the reins of our reality back. And we're seeing how when we shift our perspective, it starts to change things in our outer world, just automatically happens. And when majority of us start to do this, we no longer need anybody else to tell us what the so-called rules are of this reality. Nobody in any other animal dimension or anything like that, and nature has one or two people telling them all of the rules and saying that that's the only thing you're allowed to do. If you have it within your heart to do it, then it is something that is within this, in the contents of source energy, wanting to discover or create or move through that. And anything that is of so-called negative connotation is only a reflection of the other being not being in power anyway. So once we empower ourselves, those so-called negative things that we're talking about tend to fall away, because there's nothing that is going to give it energy anymore. It's not going to pull on the energy to allow that person to think that the only thing that they can do is control their outer world, because they haven't got any control within their inner world, their mind, and how they think about themselves and how they think about everything. So usually those so-called negative things that happen is because it's coming from somebody who's completely out of balance and they have no control of their mind. Now, the majority of humanity has had this within their reality. That's literally what we've been programmed with. It's got nothing to do with your feelings, nothing to do with controlling your mind. You've just got to learn to be better than the person that's next to you and control what's next to you. And so all of this we've got to force our way through our life by manipulating our outside world, becomes our reality. And this is how all the perspective's going to change, because I've got to control my feelings. And when I control my feelings, I direct my reality towards what I really, really want, the goals that I really, really want. And then I start to see more people in that area and that frequency that have also done the same work. And so we start to pull together from the love of ourselves. We've already supported who we are completely. And so all of those so-called negative things of someone trying to control you, you'll see them coming. They do like to bring that up a lot, because this is one of the major things that's changing in humanity at the moment. But the unforeseen plateau of feelings that's happening is something, when you start to clear your mind, when you start to take responsibility for your thoughts, when you start to direct them towards what you love, you leave a space. There's a space, because it's no longer hijacked by that logical mind returning back to the past, regurgitating problems and fear and over protection. So all of that is becoming space within your own mind. And then it allows for more of your soul to be grounded into your reality, or more of your wisdom of your soul, past lives of your soul. And so that's unforeseen, a plateau of feelings that humanity are going to tap into, because it's the soul moves through feelings. That's how we read our soul. It's through feelings. The logical mind is through a memory of something that's happened. And so it's only a copy and paste of a reality in this life only. The soul they're showing me now, when somebody moves out of this body, I'm going to say it in a way that can be, not taken down on YouTube or anything. So when a soul moves out of this body, one of the last things they go through is a download of their life. And it's literally like everything that was contained within the core memory of the logical mind of this life is now going to be shifted into the frequency of energy to go with the soul. So the soul leaves, and it has now that story, part of its journey, part of its past lives. So it retains it within feeling based. And so you can tap into that and remember a lot when you come into your next life. You're like, if you're aware enough of your past life, because you've got more of your soul that you're now connected with, And a lot of the children that are born, many of the children that are born now are starting to connect to their past lives because they're more open to that experience, that it's no longer clouded. Like the humanity's energy is shifting so that they can be born with their memory intact because they have more of their soul contained within their body or grounded into their body. And so they remember that. So the soul then holds everything in this memory. When we're going through this awakening, it's like we're not passing over. We're not leaving this body. We're leaving the program. That's the only way to learn is by the logical mind, which regurgitates. And that gave way to leaders or somebody outside of us telling us how to live, because it was only a copy and paste of things or experiences in this reality. So it gave that power of humanity's power over to somebody else, because we weren't connected to our soul and our understanding of more of who we are. So we had to reach out for somebody else to come and tell us, this is how this life works. And even if it didn't work with the soul, it didn't make even sense, we did it anyway because we didn't know anything else other than, well, I have to follow the experience of my elders, of my parents, of my teachers, because then I will fit into this reality. But now we're starting to realize it's not to do with fitting into the reality, because the reality was warped and broken anyway. It was very unbalanced. It's more to do with acknowledging that we have a plateau of untapped wisdom coming from our soul. So yeah, and then we're like, oh, okay, the soul leads us. Our soul is just love going on a journey. It will only take us to the best experiences, take parts that we really feel we resonate with. Why wouldn't we want to move towards a better feeling, right? That's what the soul is asking. Why wouldn't you want to move towards better and better feelings? And we thought that the better feelings would come from trying to fit in to a society that was already in a negative feeling or feeling of I don't really want to do this, but I'm doing it because that's what society says, right? Okay, so then they said they wanted to go a bit more into the logical mind again. And they said the logical mind works by strengthening neuron paths by going over and over events to create more, just like that event. So it keeps on strengthening that. So this is what the logical mind does. That's meant to do that. The masculine mind is supposed to like go over things. This keeps it safe, getting us to sit in a frequency that brings more events like that towards us. So this is how we've been creating in the past. Its only way of creating is to grab from the past, project into the future. It doesn't have the ability to shift the path into something better or new unless the imagination is tuned into again and respected. And if you think about it from the masculine feminine side, it's like the masculine needs to learn to let go enough of what's not working to tune into the feminine side or the female and then say, do you have any better ideas, right? And so that's like us within ourselves, we do that as well. And in our relationships, we do that as well. This isn't working. Do you have any better ideas? And then the female can go, I'm going to go into the ether and find some better ideas and bring them through and then speak them out. And then there's like a collaboration, whether the masculine and the contents of the relationship says, oh, yes, I love that idea, but I don't know how to do it. And then the soul will say, just let me get more information and bring it through. And then the logical or the masculine will go, wow, I've seen that sort of done in my reality. Let's try it this way. And so we have a collaboration that's working together to ground the imaginations into this reality. So the logic, then the imagination imagined event can show logic a brand new, better path, and this can be grounded into a physical world by doing what it does best, strengthening neuron paths by going over and over the event to create more just like that event. So now because we're trusting our soul, which is only love wanting the best for us, now we're starting to move into a reality that's carved by our soul and our imagination, brand new. So the logic is going to feel vulnerable in this because it doesn't understand it, but it has to like let go enough to say, maybe we can experience the best life. Maybe we can experience creating or inventing this unknown aspect. And it's, of course, society and humanity has done this in small increment bits, but it's been unbalanced, right? So it's never disappeared completely because it couldn't, because it's actually part of our psyche and the way that we actually move through our reality. But this is asking us to put it back into its rightful balanced place so that we are like, oh, now I get it. I don't want to strengthen that what I don't like anymore by protecting myself because I know that event, and so that's the only thing I'm going to go over. I don't want to strengthen things that are yucky anymore and things that really felt bad. I want to let go of that enough to trust an unknown quantity, an imagined event, an imagined thing to come in. Oh, maybe I could be this. Maybe I could create this. Maybe my imagination's bringing it down. And then the logic's like, well, if you really want that, let's ground it this way, because I have in my memory just in this life how that could work this way. And then it might not. Maybe the logic's like, I don't even know how to ground that. So the imagination comes in and says, let's try it this way. I know it's unusual for you to do it this way, but let's have a go. And if it has a go into this unusual way of creating, it might go, whoa, it actually worked. And so then the logic's like, right, let's strengthen that. Let's go over it and strengthen that neuron path. So if I put it into a context of something that's happened to me, and to a lot of other people, I'm sure, it would be like, in my reality, I was always spinning around, not having a lot of finances or anything like that, and feeling like my artwork and my work could never accomplish anything. And this is what I was telling myself. So my logical mind was going, it'll never work, it'll never work, it'll never work. And then I went into my imagination and went, imagine if I could speak in front of millions and help them with all these messages that I'm receiving anyway. Normally, my logical brain will put a block there and go, why would that work? It never worked in the past. And then I'm like, logical mind, just shush, go over there and just still, because I think I need to ground this more. Let's see if we can just play with this energy, this vibration that's matching this. So I started to imagine myself in that place of being that person that could send messages out. And all of a sudden, I had an idea, and the idea, like from the imagination, was to go live. And normally my logical brain would poo-poo the idea, give me anxiety, make me feel small, not be able to do it. And this time it went, okay, let's give this a go, because other things that I was working on are not working anyway. So let's just give this a go. So it's literally like talking to two personalities in your mind. But then it like let it go enough for me to really try. And then voila, now I am, channeling messages on YouTube and expanding slowly, but it's getting there. And now I'm going to be going to New York and channeling live as well. And because that worked for me, now my logical brain's like, oh, it worked. That's the way, that's the path you want to go. So it started to fixate on that as being the creative path that I want to go on. And it's now helping instead of hindering. See, I just want to give you a bit of an example on how I've changed my reality up by using this technique that they brought through. And this is why there's a lot of us that are doing this. And it's going to expand humanity into, whoa, we don't need to follow the advice of somebody who's already out of balance. And most of the majority that are in places of power have been very out of balance within their own right. They really weren't in balance of their own mind, because to be in power of that many outside of them, they would have to have a very, very, very strong will and understanding of themselves. And when you hear them speak, it doesn't sound like that. But in any case, that's another topic, right? So yeah, after that, they said once humanity realizes it's their focused awareness that holds their perception of reality, and that they can change reality by changing their focus, it's game over. Game over for all of that happened in the past and the way that you directed your life before. Because you're now, I've got to focus on the imagining. I'm respecting my imaginings to come in, and I'm going to focus more on that. That can be grounded. Where would I like to go now? What do you want to imagine? How do you want this reality for yourself to be created? What do you actually want? Like, sit down and go, what would be the greatest version of myself? So thoughts create attention. Attention creates focus. Focus ignites action by confirming the worthiness of the decided attention. And action grounds the experience into this reality. This is why it starts with the thoughts, but the thoughts, are they going to come from your logical mind that's already played out that game in the past? Or is it going to come from your imagination, a brand new path that you want to create? Because all that you're regurgitating didn't work anyway. Choose wisely, they say. Choose wisely where your thoughts and focus goes. So you learn to confirm the best that align with your nicest feelings. We want to go through to the nicest feelings, nicer and nicer, the best feelings. They did give me a little bit of a snippet for those that are coming from the past of Lemuria. So those with past lives in Lemuria, Atlantis, are waking up at the moment and understanding there's fully more to, because it's, even though in the Lemuria times it was more of a right brain being in charge, there was aspects of the logical. It was very opposite, inverted of what we've just gone through. So there was always that logic, grounded physical world that was there, but it was more to do with the right hemisphere and the imaginations and things coming through in an etheric, energetic way, working with everything communicatively, in communication with everything, but there wasn't a lot of stable, like grounded, physical, tangible objects. It was very much, if you imagined it, it could disperse. So you didn't have any cleaning up to do and dishes and all that. Wasn't that the action that actually went with it? But in any case, I'll read this out. Imagine a reality so vastly different to ours that it's hard to comprehend by logic, and humans lived there. That was the time of Lemuria, and within humanity's consciousness lies this memory to such a place. When activated as a truth hits your mind, it will not be able to be ignored anymore, because it comes through as feelings, and the feelings feel real. So those that have those past lives in Atlantis, Lemuria, all that time ago, will be activated now, because we need to find that balance, and they will feel it in, oh my God, I know this. I just know this. This feeling feels so like home to me. I understand this concept of energy, and how our focus can actually create even more, a lot more magic will come into humanity's reality because of those people waking up. Humanity is going to learn to rebuild the world they want by feeling into the frequency of the reality they desire and following the breadcrumbs in their external world that keeps them in that vibe, eventually moving them towards others who gave similar dreams and or have also stepped into that frequency as well. So that's where a collective will come together and create There will be collectors of small pods, like just a couple of people, and then 3, and then 4. I know I'm starting to connect to my soul tribe. This is why the New York event's happening, because there's an understanding between us of the same energy, and you can feel it. You just know it. It's like you don't even dispute it, and everything starts to flow easy. Like the whole New York trip has just been so easy. Everything's come very, very quickly and easily for me to do this. And and then to meet the people, you just like, oh my God, you can just feel the respect from everybody. It's just a hub. And that small hub will then grow to a bigger hub, and like people will start to magnetize because they start to remember that feeling, and then that hub will get bigger and bigger, and then we'll have spots of these, like they're showing me circles of hubs around the earth, and then those will eventually merge together. I was sitting in the spa with my girlfriend. She's like, oh my God, look, the bubbles are all merging. And I'm like, yes, 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 this is how it works. And yeah, so it's an excitement of understanding the same vibrational meet of those that you are meeting, and you have the same ideas, and so you create this path, and it seemingly comes from magic. It's like everything just clicks into place so easily. So there's that as well that's going to happen. Hey Miramala, hey, got to see Annie in the chat bar as well. I love confirming to people because, I'm not the only one who receives messages. Everyone's going to end up receiving these messages because this is the awakening, right? So we have to come together with this. And it's the most powerful messages at the moment, so to help guide us. I will just tap into a little bit more here and see what happens. I haven't got my moldavite, I just realized. But I didn't have it it was really interesting, When I have my moldavite, I can tap in clearer. But when I was doing the New York thing, because there was Soul Tribe members around and this connection with the team that like the group of people that came on the Zoom, it was like just a click, and all these answers started to come through. A collective of energy, and it just opens you up even more. So that's going to be interesting when we vibe with each other, what we're actually going to create together. It's like a memories actually forming of our soul. And so those soul tribe members, they are from past lives that your soul resonated with, your soul experienced. So when you merge with them, you remember these soul experiences, and you can now bring them forth and say, maybe we can create this in this dimension. I'm not saying that absolutely everything in this that you imagine will be able to come through. This is what logic has. This has that certain program that brings us into this grounded reality of separation. And it's needed for us to have this adventure on this practical playing field. But that's why we have to ask our logical mind or the masculine mind, do you agree with this? Can we ground this? Is this something that we want to ground into this reality? Is it going to work? And normally when the logic is really out of balance, usually if it's in balance, it will go, let's give it a try. And if you try and it just doesn't seem to take hold, the logic will then go, we'll have to let it go for us to bring in something else. They are telling me, though, anything is absolutely possible, but there is a playing around with that fixed logical program and the imagination coming through that's going to carve or create humanity's new world here. This is why they say we don't exactly know how it's going to play out, because it does depend on the program and the imaginings coming in, like the fixed physical world that we have and the imaginings coming in, and how we play with that. How much magic do we want to bring in without it overtaking the physical world that we've already experienced? Because we want to unite them both. It's not a matter of going through thousands and thousands of years, or even more than that, hundreds of thousands of years, or even more than that. They're saying, okay, whatever, eons of logical fixed understanding of that logical practical playing field, and then going, oh, we'll chuck it out. It's not about that. It's not about leaving it. It's about integrating it with our intuitive self and our soul and what we can create from there. It's a unification of that etheric world, our soul, coming in more into this grounded reality, and then going, wow, now what can we create? But because the soul's coming in, it already has a awareness of everything in communication. So anything that's alive that has source energy residing from it, through it, in a very strong manner. Everything is source energy, but in a very strong manner, as in a life form. There's communication that goes along with that. So then we're like, okay, we have to now bring in the communication. Okay, there's an oak tree in my backyard, and I really, really wanted to build a building there, but we have to go to that oak tree and say, is it okay? Are you ready to leave before we chop it down? We have communication that happens between the chopping down of the oak tree to build, and whether we use that wood for the building or not, or whether the oak tree says, no, I am sacred. I have a lot more to give to you. Find another piece of land. And so we're like, well, we have to respect that, because source energy in itself, we don't want to mess up a strong, beautiful soul residing within the oak tree that can actually gift us magic. Why would we want to get rid of something that could actually connect us to the elemental world, the dryad fairies and so forth, and give us a whole new perspective, a whole new world? We wouldn't want to chop it down, right? But if we're only coming from our logic, we don't even have that communication, because we never had our communication with our soul before. And so we don't even understand that there is such a tree that could reside and show us a lot more understanding. So we just chop it down, right? And then we're like, we've literally limited our experience. So this is why they want to bring us up in that respect, and kind of tapping into the elementals here and Earth herself, as we start to move into this higher frequency of understanding our communication. We are guided by our soul, which is communication with many other beings and many other souls, many other source energy. It has this communication with everything, because that's what source energy is. Everything is just held in a program within our logical mind, so it's fixed, so that we can have this, sit in this bed and not fall through it, be in an etheric world of just energy. Which is what our soul returns to when it leaves the logical mind's program. It returns back to what already is within that contents of energy. It just becomes just the energy. The thing that actually dies is the program, the logical program holding us in this adventure. And that's another thing that will happen. We'll start to see, oh my God, this reality, this physical reality, is actually a venture to go move through. And I'm the creator, spark of creation, from my own observational point of how my perspective of everything works, that I can create and move through this world. What I fixate on becomes more of. And so you can kind of see this shift of reality happening. This is why a lot of us went into hermit stage, and we're coming in and out of hermit stage, because it's like, okay, I need to go back to hermit stage just to remember my true essence. Because when we go out to the big wide world and we're told of all these rules and laws, we're giving our power away to that. Now we're taking our power back. Okay, I need to go back into hermit stage, take my power back, and carve or imagine a new reality that how do you want to be perceived? How do I want to be perceived in this world? And that sort of thing. Complete authentic love, gratitude, sister. Thank you, Marama. Sorry about the shaking too. Sat my computer on a big pillow. Is there anything else that wants to come through? There's going to be, they say, it's interesting as I tap in, the animals are coming through, and the animals are saying, the pets and that, they're saying, they want us to communicate with them a lot more now, telepathically. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. If you ever have to leave an animal because you have to, there's just no way out of it, then share them your love and let them know. They're bringing me to that for some reason. If you want, if you want to teach your animal to use a kitty litter tray or whatever, it's really interesting. It's just the small things. They're saying, there's always a way of communicating with more, and our pets are the first thing that they're saying. That's a really good first thing to learn to communicate to, and then because when you move through into Earth and communicating with her, yes, she is everything. She is even the electronics, everything that humanity's created. She is everything. She is part of everything. She's not like just the Earth, and then we have the plants, and then we have the humans, and what the humans did is different. No, she is all energy encompassing, the weather. She's everything. And so we can tap into her and ask her to bring to us, magnetize to us even the abundance that we are needing, and even vibration and magnitude of other people that we are needing, all sorts of things like that. But they say that for some reason they're bringing me down, ground this down to just a practical way of just testing this with your animals, your pets, because your pets know you very well, and they always were communicative with you anyway in a telepathic sense. But we and a lot of those are showing me a lot of those animals that are very good with the buttons, with the language buttons. They are very good with telepathy, so they kind of already know what you as a human wants from them, and they're just really tapping into this through telepathy anyway, and then they're converting it to the button that is necessary to push. So it's not that they are, like we see them as, they're more intelligent logically, but they're actually more have a telepathic interaction. And so when we use them because they love us and we love them, that love is a really good place to start to connect and ask them to do something, or ask them. They're bringing me to when I had to go to New Zealand. I had to leave my cat, and I wanted my cat to then go on the kitty litter tray, and I thought the person who was looking after them, I wasn't sure if she was going to change it or, use it. I just wasn't relying on her as much as what I probably should, or trusting her. So I decided to telepathically tune into my cat. And I said to her, if you have any accidents, go in the bathroom. Just go in the bathroom, has no carpet. So go in the bathroom. So I literally just connected with her. And when I leave, go in the bathroom. But I mustn't have said, she took that as when I left the house. So the very next day, because had a week to go before I went to New Zealand, the very next day I left to go to, you know, volunteer work, and she went in the bathroom instead of in normal going outside. So yes, it worked, but there wasn't enough communication. I didn't tell her when I leave. She didn't realize I was going to leave to go on a plane to actually travel out away from her for about 2 weeks. So yeah, these sort of things, you can try them out with your animals. And telepathically connect. Buy one of those buttons, I suppose, and telepathically connect with them and see if you can do that. Some animals aren't as tuned in as others, just like humans, just like everything. Some of them are just very much, you know, they don't have a strong essence of soul and connection as others. There's varied response to our connection to our soul, even in the animal world as well. Really, it's not just a one for all for everything. And this is what the logic wants to do. Oh, it's a one for all. So all animals are like that. And yeah, no, it's not. They're telling me it's not. They're just like somebody who's good at art and then another person who's not good at art. We have our flavors. We have our flavors that help us. And that brings our personality out too. It creates the personality of the animal as well, and the person or whoever it is. It's part of the journey that we wanted to take, source energy wanted to take in their avatar. So there's no less or better or anything like that. It's just don't expect one animal might be better at it than another, that sort of thing. But they do have a stronger connection to their soul than what humanity has in the past. And they would see, this is where we see intelligent as someone that can retain memory. And there's another intelligence of living in the moment and tapping into your soul and tapping into the soul being the observer and seeing all the paths and telling you which way to go in each given moment. And so, you're doing a test, right? And it's an A, B, C, D, E test, yeah? And you're like, I don't know. Like, I literally did this when I did tests at school. I did not like tests because I didn't have a very good logical memory of retaining memory. That sort of thing wasn't used for me in a past life coming from Pleiades. I didn't use it as much. So it was very difficult for me to use that retaining memory. It's why I'm dyslexic as well. And I just very bad with remembering lyrics of songs and things like that. Even though as a singer, I always had my words there, that sort of thing. But I'm very good at living in the moment and tapping into my soul. So what I did is when I didn't know any of the answers, I just went, well, I'll tap and tune in, and then I know I'll write the right answer. So I actually got away with a bit like that sometimes. And then other times I didn't because I forgot to do that. But especially when I was a kid, I wasn't really aware enough of that because everything I did in the soul, in this tapping into my soul, was poo-pooed by my parents. And you know, that's not the way to do things, and the teachers, and it's not the way to do things, you know, and that sort of thing. So yeah, see how a totally different perspective is coming into humanity's reality, and those of us that are aware of it are actually awakening others to that aspect of themselves. So yeah, it's really cool. New York needs all the prayers we can get. Yeah. I know there's some things happening over there, isn't there, with some plane crashes and stuff that's going on. I haven't gone into it. It's really been a very unusual thing because I just booked the tickets and now I'm going on a plane to New York, and all of a sudden these plane crashes. And I don't want that to blunt my experience, and it just isn't. It's like I'm so protected to go there, but it's funny how it all lines up with me going there. And I just got the visa through as well, which is fantastic. So I'm definitely on my way. Yeah, but they do. There is some challenging aspects for those that are still caught in that fear propaganda and programming. Don't really want to go into it too much, though, to tell you the honest truth. But I do always send my love out. And honestly, lately I have been really feeling empowered and having these feelings of new perspectives wash over me. And I have been just bursting love out to the whole world and humanity. It's going to be very exciting when I get a gathering in physical, with us being physically there, because at the end of this is a definite that I want to do, is because the energy will be heightened by the channeling that comes through, especially being in the same room. I want to pull all that energy together and send it out to help awaken others. Literally awaken. You've got more to look at than what you've been taught. Yeah, so all of that. Exactly, Miramel. I will give my but I know exactly what I'm doing now. I'm not worried. But it was interesting. Same thing happened when I went to go to Uluru. I had a premonition dream of going to Uluru first. And then the very next morning, when I was on this bus in Uluru, I had David Icke put up an email, who wants to come with me to Uluru? I knew I was going to be on that bus because he just woke up from the dream. I put my name in the hat, didn't know how it was all going to work out with my children and everything, and it just went click, click, click. Everything worked out. It's just that when I'm supposed to be somewhere, it will just all work out very easily. And then I ended up in Uluru, and I ended up channeling through all those messages when I had my forehead on the rock of Uluru, of all this potential of humanity coming through me, all this Pleiadian information coming through me of what Pleiades feels like in that. And then it was an exchange that happened between the rock, the mountain, and me. The same thing happened where there was a big, huge talk about crap going down with something was going to explode, a comet was going to land, or something. It was something to do with the comet or a meteorite. It was falling, and it was all going. And they gave me a dream and said, "No, you're on a white horse. You're above that." And you don't worry about it, because it started to get me concerned about the future of humanity. And they're like, no, don't go there. Go here. Go, just do what you're supposed to do. You're safe. You're fine. And I feel the same. I feel the same way with going to New York. So this is really fun. Everything's going to be fine. And when I get there, it'll all be absolutely awesome. I know it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, where we're supposed to go, we're supposed to go. Actually, David asked me after that next year he was going to go to, I think it was South Africa or something, the Incas, and I was asked to come to that, but I didn't have a pool to go to that, so I had the money there and everything, but it wasn't a spiritual thing. It would have been for fun maybe, but it wasn't. I wasn't taking them. My soul wasn't driving me there, so I said no to that. But yeah, New York. I have to be in New York. I actually don't know. Like when I went to Uluru, I didn't know the full power of what was going to happen. But that was extremely powerful when I went there. There was a big reason for it, for me to connect to the mountain. I know that absolutely 100%. I carry something. There's codes to awaken and stuff. And yeah, and I think this is going to help me as much as it helps New York, or even more than that. awakening of more. Anyway, I'm getting into my own stuff. So, but I think, is there anything else that I want to bring through just before? Everything happens for a purpose. It's all aligned. Everyone's life is. Just whether you want to move through it in a way that is fun, or whether you want to move through it in a way that's not. Even if you were meant to be awoken at a specific time in that, and your soul, you will be awoken, but it's whether you're going to fight it. In other words, fear it. In other words, then you will manifest a fearful awakening, or whether you are taking the reins and going, I'm going to move into more fun, more fun, more fun. It's up to you. And it doesn't matter either way. You're still going to be awoken. Like they're saying, it's still going to happen. If you're supposed to if you're supposed to do more from an etheric place, then you might pass over and do more work from the etheric place. So bringing me to Steve Irwin, he was meant to pass over at that time. It was okay. He had other work to do in the etheric worlds, as well as the protection as the overseer for the animals as well. There was all sorts of things that were going to happen for him. It was more of an expansion for him to be in that etheric position, for a soul to reside in that place. And so anyone that's passing over and you're like, oh, you were enlightened and you're passing over, oh, you mustn't have been enlightened. No. They are putting themselves in a position to help still from the etheric place. But they needed to have a life just before to understand a bit of the grounded sense and awareness. Everything is happening perfectly, because remember, we are all source energy, the bad, the good, the indifferent. Everything is source energy going on this journey. It is the evolutional aspect of humanity, but waking up. It's just happening. It's going to happen. You can turn on your TVs and think, oh my God, I could get sucked into all of that. And yeah, it will, and it will make it a bit drudgy, and you're kind of stuck in mud as you're going, but you will still be awoke in one way or another. They're saying it is already written in the path of humanity's consciousness. And then you're like, well, should I do anything? Yeah, you should move towards what's fun, right? So have the most fun life. You choose the fun, choose the celebrations, choose living in the moment and trusting and playing this out. Choose the game to play for fun. It's like if you're playing a game of Monopoly with friends, and one friend could be sitting there miserable because they're losing or whatever, or they didn't have enough or whatever, and then the other friend be like, oh my God, it's so good to be playing a game of Monopoly with people again. And I've been sitting in hermit stage for a while, and it's just so nice to have an interaction. And so just really perception is everything. And I think that's what they brought up at the beginning. All those messages through the week that I got, it was all to do with our perspective of life. How are we seeing it? How are we actually moving through it? Take the reins to it back and ask yourself, how do you want to move through your life? What do you want to create? What adventure do you want to have? Do you want an interaction with ETs? Do you want an interaction with elementals? Do you want interaction with just soul tribe members? All of that sort of stuff. You cannot control somebody else coming in. You can't control the elementals to come in. They've got their own reality and divinity, but you can match their frequency. So you just become entangled in the reality. It is focus. Then focus leads to direction, leads to action, leads to interaction, communication, and more. So yeah, okay. Well, I have a very big interview tomorrow with Michael. Watch out for the collaboration that we did, live Zoom, that was recorded by my team in New York. We had a couple of people that were from here actually on that live as well, and they're going to do a few more, so watch out for those. I think I will have to advertise them more for you guys so that you can come in. I did advertise it on my Facebook, but I don't think I did on my YouTube, so sorry about that. I'll be a bit more cleverer with that in the future. Okay, guys, love you, love you, love you heaps. And until the next time, yeah, you would have attended. So sorry, Celtic. I know. That was my bad. I will do better next time. But I will put it up and you can watch it anyway, how it all went. So, yeah, I love you guys. Until next time. Bye.